Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, everybody. It's a cold, bright and breezy winter's day. Rat, my terrible terrier, is barking away, and I'm taking you all on a walk this morning at High Ash Farm. I'm starting off at the Roman Town car park at Caister St Edmund and holding a little camera in my hand as well, and in front of me is the parish church of Caister St Edmund, lit up in the low winter sunshine. It's a fabulous sight. All my relatives are buried there just underneath the church tower. Grandad Skinner, Herbert John, my dad Samuel David, my mum, and lots of relations there. And the whole land in front of me as I scan around was left by Edith Hawkins, the lady who owned the site, and when she passed away she did something absolutely wonderful. She left all this area, the Roman town and the land surrounding it, to the Norfolk Archaeological Trust. In other words, to the nation. Oh, Kestrel hovering right in front of me, only 20 yards away, right on top of the Roman wall itself, which surrounds the actually enclosed part of the town. Now, you can do two walks from here. You can walk around the historic site and learn all about Roman occupation in eastern Britain, and this is known as Venta Icenorum, the town of the Iceni. And we're going to turn around and you can do the environmental walk, which is the other side of the road, and Rat's leading the way in front of me. Very, very keen on going for a walk this morning. And we're just going to cross the Norwich to Stoke Holy Cross road, and I'm going to break the walk up into 4 sections, and we'll do one each week, bearing in mind there's over 10 miles of permissive walking here at the farm. And here it goes. We just cross the road, and little sign saying High Ash Farm in front of us. Fine walking for a fine city. There we are, www.highashfarm.com, and we just go through the gate. It's got High Ash Farm written in nails on the front. Shut the gate behind us. Rat's on his lead, and now we start to walk away from the River Tass at the bottom of the valley behind me. Oh, look, we've got autumn and winter signs all up round the farm, and it says please become a sponsor and enjoy year-round walking here, and it tells you about all the different things you'll see at each of the seasons here at High Ash Farm. So here we are, we're just beginning off on the walk. Here's Rat in front of me on his lead, and we're immediately starting to walk up the hill now. A little bit breezy, but there's some lovely low winter sunshine. Lots of lovely hedges on the farm, over 26 miles of hedgerow, and that's helped protecting us from the wind, which is blowing quite fiercely this morning. Somebody walking down. The walks are all 10, 15, even 20 metres wide, so lots and lots of space to walk along. Morning. And lots and lots of trees here, all covered in ivy, and that's one of the main protections. I suppose next to the oak trees, ivy is number 2 conservation plant at the farm. There are over 1,500 individual oaks on the farm, and nearly all of them have ivy on them, and they've probably had ivy on since the word go. And this is one of the foo rills just coming up. Little sign saying dogs must be on leads, and the reason for that is all these walks, they're permissive walks, not public footpaths, and there's a big difference between the two. And all this land is really set about and managed for wildlife. So the wildlife comes first and kind of gives permission, if you like, for people to walk as on here, as long as the dogs are on a lead. And really, that's how it works. It's as simple as that. There's nothing to pay unless you want to become a sponsor and enjoy walking all the year round here at the farm. And it's a beautiful beautiful farm. Just look, I'm scanning the camera around. We've left Caister Church behind us a little bit, a couple of 100 yards now, and we're heading to the top of the hill. And it's a really well wooded farm. 13 areas of woodland, very, very unusual for arable land in Norfolk to have so much timber and forestry. The hedge on my right is 400 metres long. That's a quarter of a mile, and that gets cut every 3rd or 4th year. And you can see there's a nice lot of growth on the top, and in the hedge itself lots of ivy, a few berries left as well. Just get the camera close, you can see some of the nice hawthorn berries still there, still to be eaten by visiting birds and thrushes. Rats being very good. If the camera moves around at extraordinary angles, that's because rat has tugged me. He's attached to my belt and he gets very excited about going for a walk. But he's being very well behaved. He's leading the way. There he is in front of me. And we're now coming up to about the 10th oak tree that we're past on the right. Again, lovely crop of ivy going right up to the canopy. And little side, oh, just the other side of the hedge, hundreds of rooks. And we've got a newly established rookery just behind us in the Scots pine trees we're now coming up to, and some ash trees further away. About 150 nests last year, and they're foraging about in amongst the horses. I can see them, bright white base to the beak, and sort of baggy trousers on the legs, which distinguishes them from carrion crows. And in front of me, plant of interest, one of the hundreds of signs on the farm, common ivy, Hedera helix, and it tells you all about it. Concealed and sheltered nesting habitat, hibernation site for native butterflies, autumn flowers provide the last nectar flow of the season, ivy berries ripen in winter and provide nutritious food source. Ivy is not parasitic, it does not compete with or strangle the host tree. There it is, and you can see all the berries there. Hold the camera up close, juicy black berries full of nutrition for wood pigeons and thrushes. Absolutely devour it. Come on, rat. Nearly went through into the horses. It's his favourite pastime, trying to chase horses and wind them up. Full of mischief. So we're now coming up to the crest of a hill, and this is where I'll pause before I start the second part of today's walk. It's in front of me is about a hectare of Scots pine trees, old, gnarled, mature. That sounds like a description of me. And twisted as well, some of them, because they're on top of a hill and they are a bit wind blown, but there's a secret under their roots, because as we get to the crest of the hill, this is a Anglo-Saxon cemetery here, and over 800 urns have been excavated. Rat has tugged the lead so hard, trying to get ahead of me, he's now choked himself. Demented terrier. So, really important historical site here, excavated in the late 1930s, just part of it, a tiny part, and lovely place to take a seat here in the summer. We're underneath one of the venerable oaks. This one hasn't got ivy on, and this one's made of sweet chestnut, and we can dedicate seats all around the farm on the walks. This one's in loving memory of Christine Harrison, 1947 to 2022. She loved her walking there, and I'm going to sit down and just admire the view in front of me. So this is a sort of international historic site. You can see the gnarled look of some of the pine trees in front of me. There's one here quite close by that's twisted just like the top of an umbrella. I don't know how it's still standing because it copes with the wind from all directions. Rat has decided to get himself tangled in the lead, so let's just untangle him. There he is. Good. And interesting for a cemetery, there's elder all over the site here, and that's quite often associated with burial sites as well, and you get all the elderberries in the winter, late autumn and early winter as well, devoured by hordes of starlings. So here we are, morning, some walkers just going past with a pushchair. Early morning, freezing walk. And here's a little sign as well saying that you can see some of the burial urns that are found at the farm on display at Norwich Castle Museum. And here's a typical urn made by some of the potters. And interestingly, some of the burial urns found over in Saxony, in Germany, are identical to the ones that were found here. And there's a little explanation note about them. There we are, the Saxons buried their dead after cremation on top of a hill, which is where we are. Panoramic view over the Tass Valley, so that the spirits of the deceased didn't have so far to travel to the heavens. What a lovely idea. There we are, I'll see you again shortly.